Well, thank you. I am glad to be invited. I very much appreciate what Dr. Barham and AUIS has been doing up here. And I thank Kurdistan 24 for being one of the media sponsors. So it's a great conference with great people tackling tough topics. What's important about this conference, the headline of this conference is, this is the first conference to discuss the results of the first negotiations between the Americans and the Iranians on the issue of their nuclear program since the beginning of the negotiations. Many other topics being discussed about regional issues, Syria in particular, Gaza, but I think most people are listening most carefully about what's happening with the negotiations, where are they going to go. We've had the Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister speak his views, the American State Department official speaking her views. So it was nice to hear clarity on what happened and what is happening and what's next.
Zor başa.
Oh, I don't think that there will be any new geographical borders drawn. If that would have happened anywhere, I believe it would be in Syria, now that the breakup of the Assad regime. But al-Shara has been very consistent. He wants to keep Syria as one unified country. So if it doesn't happen in Syria, I can't imagine the geographical changes happening anywhere else. Now, the instability continues despite the significant impact that the post-October 7th environment has brought about. Hamas is defeated but not destroyed. Hezbollah is defeated but not destroyed. And the Houthis are neither defeated nor destroyed. So all of those means that there may be a temporary lull in the Iranian proxy operations that are, to many, the major destabilizing factor in the region. There may be a lull in that, but I think that, as some would say, with Hamas and Hezbollah, they have mowed the grass, but the grass will grow back. So these are factors of instability that have diminished but not disappeared and may very well come back. Well, the relations between Kurdistan and the United States is very good now, but it has been good for 20 years. It has been the most consistent ally of the United States throughout. When I was in Department of Defense in 2006, Kubad Talabani at that time ran the KRG office in Washington, D.C. He was a constant visitor, and his message was clear. Kurdistan is here to help as the Americans conduct their missions in the region. That was, for me, the first experience I had with Kurdistan on the military level, and I think that relationship has been maintained for the last 20 years. Here's my concern. This is no longer a policy issue. Some say Trump wants to be nationalist, isolationist, and the next president may want to come in and be globalist and an internationalist again. One of the major concerns, I think, which is finally being embraced by America, is that it has a $37 trillion debt. $37 trillion. And that amount of debt will incapacitate America's ability to influence the world. The interest we pay on the debt right now is larger than the defense budget. And if the United States doesn't get a grip on reducing that debt or managing that debt, policy may not make a difference. We may have the most outward-facing, outward-leaning international view, but if we don't have the ability or the resources to embrace that view and defend that view, it's like the British Empire, ran out of money.
Zor başa.
No. I think that people in the media in particular are mistaken on a number of levels. Number one, the Iranians are famous for prolonging negotiations. This is not, we will not get to an answer in the second round, the third round, the fourth round. This could take months, if not years. The Iranians love to drag things out. Second, I think the media also gets this wrong because they believe it's going to be negotiations, and then if negotiations fail, we go straight to war. No, I believe there's a step in between negotiations and war, and that is an expanded economic war between America and Iran. Yes, we have the maximum pressure campaign. Yes, we have sanctions. Yes, we have snapback sanctions. But the maximum pressure campaign is nowhere near being maximized. We have held back on a number of areas where we could put maximum pressure. One example, if the oil coming out of Iran is embargoed and can't get to markets, and as a result the Iranians can't get the revenue from that oil, that will create such an impact on the economy that Iran may be at that point more amenable to changing their behavior. I don't know what the negotiating position is, but I'm fairly certain that diplomacy, if it fails, will not necessarily lead directly to war. And the reason I know this is quite simple. President Trump is proud to tell everybody that he never started a war, and I don't think he wants to start one now. Well, first of all, I think that there are some in Congress, Joe Wilson, for example, who believe that Iraq is a proxy for Iran. I'm not one that believes those, but I truly believe that if we can come to an arrangement with Iran on the nuclear issue, which would include reducing the negative influence in Iraq from Iran, that will broaden the relationship between the United States and Iraq, which has always been strong but would only get stronger. It really comes down to the American policy. You can't geographically move Iran 10,000 miles to the east or Iraq 10,000 miles to the west. There will always be Iranian influence in Iraq. That's history. The American policy is influence is okay, interference is unacceptable. We believe that Iraq should make its own decisions without pressure from any outside countries, to include America. So let's let Iraq be Iraq, not negatively influenced by Iran or any other country. And that would be the greatest force for stability in Iraq that we've seen in 20-some years. You know, I love the expression that the Chinese use, that we don't interfere in the internal relations of a country. I've sort of lived by that myself. That's a decision for the people of Iraq, for the government of Iraq, Erbil and Baghdad, to make a decision that's in the best decision for the country and for its people.